What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a water pump on an 07.5 Dodge Ram 2500 with the Cummins. I'm going to show you how I do it, how easy it is, and hopefully help some of y'all where y'all can do it at home and you don't have to take it to a shop or anything. It's super easy and I'm going to show you how it's done, so let's dive in. All right, so we're outside with the truck. I don't know if y'all have seen it in my other videos. I have a video from, I think it was about 2 years ago, that I did the thermostat on this truck. It gets cold when I did the thermostat, or it got cold when I did the thermostat, and it hung open. Made a quick video on how to do that. It's starting to get chilly in Texas. It's Texas, our weather's bipolar, so it's all over the place. Well, it's been getting cold back and forth, and now magically my water pump is leaking. I'm gonna try to get some footage of the noise and the pump jerking back and forth, the pulley that's on the pump, and then we're gonna dive into getting it off. First thing I'm gonna do is start draining the coolant. You don't have to drain it all, just the level has to be below where your water pump's at, but I'm just gonna drain it all. It's been 2 years. I'm just gonna put some fresh coolant back in it since I'm already right there doing it. So I'll show y'all how to drain it and we'll get started. So on the driver's side of the truck, there's gonna be a little valve right here. I'm not 100% sure if this is an aftermarket radiator, because when I bought the truck, they said they put a new one in. It looks newer, and honestly, I don't know. I haven't had any leaks from the radiator, so I know I didn't replace it, but all you're gonna do is break this little valve loose right here, twist it, and your coolant is draining. Let that drain out. Pop your radiator cap, that'll help relieve, it won't cause it to go like into suction and slow down the drain. So you see how it's kind of already started to slow down. So I'm gonna hop up there, pop the cap, get everything set up, so when this is ready, we can get that water pump out. All right guys, I got a few things, some tools. I got all the coolant drained. I have a little bit on a little thick boy side, arms. Some people can fit their hand in here, but old chubby Bubbertons, they ain't gonna make it. So I am gonna disconnect this clip right here and take some of this stuff off on the top to try to move this out, the thermostat housing. I'm gonna try to get it out of the way, give me just a hair more room. You're gonna have to disconnect. There's a nut on your exhaust manifold for your, honestly don't know what it is. It's broke on my truck and I crimped it off because it's deleted anyway. But there's a line that runs up here, and I think it's your gas temperature probably, if I was to guess. I never really cared enough to replace it because it's deleted and didn't throw a code, didn't have any problems. But you gotta take the jam nut, I guess it's not a jam nut. You've gotta take the nut off of the exhaust manifold right here that holds this little tube on. Break it loose right here, that should get out of the way. And then I'm gonna take this off, fold it over. It'll give me all the room I need to get right in here. So let's get started. This is a 12. Seems like I've been using a lot of 12s lately. I don't ever use 12s, hardly at all at work, but apparently all the little projects I've been doing lately need 12s. Your manifold to get this pipe off is a 15. Like I was saying, it's supposed to connect over here. I crimped it off. It just goes into the manifold. For your thermostat housing, take this little cover off. These are 8s. I always try to put bolts and nuts back where I remove them so I don't have to fight with my memory when I get done trying to figure out where stuff went. The thermostat housing, also 8 millimeters. As you can see now, I got a lot more room right here to get in there, be able to work with things. The serpentine belt needs to come off. It's really hard to get it from up here. I don't even know if you can. I've always just got it from the bottom, so I'm gonna jump down there. It takes a 1/2 inch ratchet. You go in through the bottom, pull it, and slide your belt off. All right, right up here, you'll see your tensioner, 1/2 inch ratchet. Pull a little bit. If you ratchet a little bit more, you get a little bit out of it. Just slide your belt right off. And then wedge it between the shroud and your compressor. And you should have plenty of room to work with it from up there to get it off and around the water pump. Okay, the belt is loose. Reach down in here, pop it off your alternator, and that will release it from around the water pump. You can push it down. So basically you're pulling it off the water pump and then off of this idler right here at the very top. You can just kind of push it down some. It kind of stays in its shape for the most part. And that'll get it where you can get in there to your water pump bolts, and there's a 10 millimeter on the about 2 o'clock position, and there's another one about a 7 o'clock. Pop those loose, and the water pump should slide right out. The water pump bolts are 10 millimeter, by the way. Those broke loose. Now we'll use the electric ratchet, if it'll fit. Magnetic trays are awesome if you can manage to get the bolt in it. Sad day. See if we can get this to pop her loose. We're gonna have to loosen this shroud nut right here to try to get the shroud to move a little bit so it'll fit between here. Oh yeah. There it is. If you listen, hopefully the wind's not picking up, but you can hear. It's bad. And then It's got a lot of play and it's loud. So we're gonna go run and get the new one, get back, get it in, fill it up with coolant, and finish this off. So I will be back with a new one. All right, guys, we are back. I had to go get the water pump. I ran by my little brother Dalton's, helped him get a torque converter bolt out of his Dodge. This is a 08 Mega Slab, but I had to run by there, helped him get a torque converter bolt out, you know, Dodge transmission problems. But I've got the new water pump, got the lifetime warranty, got back, and now we are here. I'm gonna get this back in because honestly I am tired of messing with it now. It's just kind of turned into an all day thing when it shouldn't have, just because of errands and everything else I had to run. But let's get this thing done. If you look down in there, you can see where the water pump goes, but if you notice, the gasket is still on it. When I removed the old water pump, it did not come with it. So make sure before you stick the new one on that you get the old gasket off. Maybe take a paper towel and some brake clean, wipe that sucker clean. You don't want any debris or dirt or anything on it so it leaks again. You want to have a good seal for the new one to mate up to. So that's where it goes. That's just me showing you that the old rubber O-ring is still on there. Just make sure you get that off and it should all go back together pretty easy. Sucker was on there. That's nice. I'll give you little instructions. So with this gasket going in here, there's a chance it could fall out. The little trick I use is just some high temp grease. Just get you a little dab on your finger. Put it around on the gasket. Then put the grease side down. Not going nowhere. If you look, it's a little bit longer on one side than the other. The longer side goes up, sits in there like that, which puts your little weep hole for when your pump goes out and it starts leaking at the bottom. So just like before, we're gonna pull back on this. Slide it down in there. So these are 10s and it'll come right out of the socket. What I do is I'll take a piece of paper towel, put it right over your socket, squish it in there, break off the paper towel, holds it in there. You can tighten it. When you're done, pull it out, paper towel falls. I'm not actually prying on anything. All I'm doing is using the pry bar to hold the water pump up in there so I can get the bolt threaded in, get it started. and it doesn't fall out. Doing it this way, you didn't have to take a whole bunch of stuff off, but it doesn't give you a whole lot of work room. So you can have something like a long pry bar to hold it still while you thread in the bolt. Makes it a lot easier. Now the bottom bolt. Now, as you can see, within a matter of just a few minutes, I got the new one in. Bolts are tightened. It is ready to go. I'm going to get the serpentine belt back on and start putting it back together. Now it's just a matter of routing it, the belt, getting it back under the water pump, over your alternator, over this idler. And now we're gonna go back underneath and we are going to tighten the tensioner, get it back. Okay, so it should just be a simple pull the serpentine belt around your AC compressor. Everything still should be lined up, should be. We'll check it once we get it around the AC compressor. But that should be it, and it shouldn't be hard to get it around the AC compressor. I say that, but sometimes Dodge can be a real pain when it comes to serpentine belts. The tensioner has a lot of throw in it, and sometimes you just can't get enough pull on it to get it on there. So I am gonna get this on and hope everything is lined up. Looks to be lined up. All right. Okay, if you look up in there, you can see where my ratchet's at on the tensioner. It's back around the AC compressor. Everything looks to be lined up under here. You can see the mess from the water pump when we pulled it out leaking down, but it's shouldn't be doing that anymore. But as you can see, it's back on. We're good to go. Let's go back up top, get everything buttoned up, and finish. Okie dokie. Take a quick check. Make sure everything's in its groove where it's supposed to be. We're good. It wouldn't be a bad idea while you're right here to replace your thermostat. You've already taken this top piece off anyway, so it wouldn't be hard to grab another one, throw it in there. This one's not very old, and I haven't had any issues with it. Pretty sure it's a 160 thermostat. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. Extra paper towel. A little brake clean. Give this a quick wipe down. this guy back over. Yes, technically, you don't have to put this back on. Pretty sure it's got some kind of heat shield from the EGR. But it isn't hurting anything, so I'll just keep it on. And tighten up the shroud bolt. And now we just gotta add coolant. Make sure the little drain valve on the bottom is closed. It'd be really bad to fill this thing up, or think you're filling it up and it's draining all out the bottom. This right here is a little vent. It says vent here during coolant fill, so we'll take that off. Let some of this air work its way out. Oop. It already burped. I don't know if you can see, but the coolant is right to the top of that. I'm gonna throw just a couple wraps of thread tape on this real quick. This is a 19, the holder. The Allen wrench is a 1/4 inch. Done. Time to grab the tools, start this old pig up. Okie dokie. So, water pump is done. Belt's back on. All the nuts and bolts are back on. Sensors are plugged back in. Everything looks to be how it's supposed to be. So now I'm gonna start it up, let it get up to operating temp. Probably take some water, clean it off, because it shot coolant everywhere. So now I have coolant marks everywhere, and I want to make sure that if there's new coolant marks, I have an idea where they came from, not a mix-up of all the old coolant marks and whatnot all over. So I'm gonna go start it, get this thing up to operating temp, and probably gonna test drive and call it good. is done. I'm taking the truck for a little test drive. I'm gonna run up to the gas station or up the road to one of the stop signs and back. It is running good. There's no noises, there's no water leaks. I am happy that it's done. It's, you know, one of those things that when you get a truck that hits almost 200,000 miles, it's one of those maintenance kind of things. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this one up, guys. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, things you didn't like, did like, what way you do it, how you know, maybe it's an easier way for you to do it a certain way. I don't know. There's so many different ways to do things, but that's just the way I did it today. Leave them in the comment section. Have a little combo with me. Let me know what y'all do different. Give me a like if you could do that. That would be much appreciated. And if you haven't already yet, subscribe. There's going to be more videos to come, and just everyday life and a lot of how-to videos of just stuff that I do on a daily basis. But that's going to be it, guys. Thanks for watching, and remember, love each other.